Hello and welcome to the RoundUp, where I'll round up everything I ever watched, read, or played in July 2023. We'll be going over this in chronological order of when I finish each entry, so let's start with this one. Starting off July was the indie RPG West of Loathing, which easily plays a stickman in the Wild West trying to make a name for themselves. The strongest element of the game is the dialogue. If you're going to play for one reason, it's that. It's charming, witty, and has multiple moments that'll give an audible laugh out of you. West of Loathing's art style also helps it stand out, feeling like the duel is made within a notebook. The side characters you meet along the way are also fun and attractive because of the great dialogue. However, everything else feels mostly middling. The main story is just there to have a beginning and an end. While most of the side quests can be entertaining, a good amount also drag out too long. The turn-based combat is fine, but nothing super engaging. By the end, I was just exploring the battle system so I could get it over with, even skipping the dialogue, which is supposed to be the saving grace. Overall, I'm giving it a meh Alan, as a great dialogue cannot save everything else being middling at best. Elemental is Pixar's latest film showing opposites attract in a world of elements. The best part of the film is the visuals. They look straight through, especially the use of the glass in the movie. The cast has a good female lead in Ember and an okay male lead in Wade, but the rest are just kinda uninteresting. Yes, even Claude. The main themes it presents throughout the film hit you like a blunt-ended pipe to head over and over again, and it's not one well enough to not feel eye-roll worthy at certain points. Going along with this, some of the story beats feel forced to fit into common tropes. However, the chemistry between the main two is still pretty good, and the comedy throughout the film hits a lot more than it misses. Overall, I still had fun with it, but it's nothing special or groundbreaking, feeling a very light, happy Alan on it. Blackberry follows the rise of Blackberry in the smartphone world and the company's eventual downfall from its dominance within the industry. The cast is overall pretty great. The support is okay to good for the most part, but Glenn Howerton and Jay Baruchel carry the story as the dueling CEOs that both want different things out of the company. The score is also great, adding to the intensity and joyousness of the company's ups and downs throughout the film. The cinematography and framing is also pretty good. Not too much to say, but honestly check it out. I love this film and it needs more exposure, and that's why I'm giving it a loving Alan. Mirror's Edge is the cult classic first-person action game that sees you parkour around a dystopian city and attempt to free your sister from a corrupt arrest. Visually, the game still looks gorgeous, with the blinding white backdrops of city buildings helping make any sense of color pop out at you. The gameplay is also great. While I suck at it, once you get into the rhythm, it is beyond satisfying to finally hit a section of moves you've been failing. The combat is okay. The gunplay is good, but the hand-to-hand combat feels a bit weak and clunky, while the disarming often fails to work even though it feels like it should. Some of the game mechanics also lead to your inadvertent death, like the character instinctively jumping over a ledge that you need to hang off of and you fall to your death. The main story is also interesting for the majority of it, along with the characters. However, there are nice bits of world building, especially in the elevator sections that give you more context to the greater world while you cool down. And while it's not the game's fault, my ineptitude at it does take away some of my enjoyment at it, and that's why I can only give it a happy Alan. However, it's something I get better at, I could see myself enjoying more and eventually raising, but that's where it is for now. One half of the mega event of the summer, Barbie sees the titular character leave Barbie land for the real world in order to fix issues of imperfection plaguing her. Margot Robbie does great as the main Barbie in the film, however it's Ryan Gosling's performance of Ken that really takes over, stealing any scene he's in. The comedy is also very good, especially Ken, as previously mentioned, always able to get at least a chuckle out of you every time he's on screen. The support cast is fine for the most part, but aren't as interesting as the main two of the film. The film does its best when it's in Barbie land, with the world looking like a place that come to life, while the section that takes place in the real world during the middle of the film is mostly uninteresting. Like previously mentioned with Elemental, the film constantly beats you over the head with its message, however for the most part it sticks rather than being groan-inducing. Overall, despite the dragging middle, the strong leads are able to carry Barbie to a fun time and a happy Alan rating. The second half of Barbenheimer, Oppenheimer follows the father of the atomic bomb from his years in college to the trials that face him after the war ends. Every member of the cast shines through, especially Cillian Murphy as Oppenheimer and Robert Downey Jr. playing as his political rival in Strauss. Despite being 3 hours, you will not feel it go by, and so you'll be constantly glued to the events that unfold. Even when the climax feels as though it's been reached, it still goes on for another hour and you'll still be gripped to the screen. The sound is also excellent, especially when you finally see the bomb go off and the rally scene that mirrors it soon after. It is easily the better half of Barbenheimer and a very, very strong loving Alan. To end this roundup is Orel, the Adult Swim claymation show about a God-fearing tween trying to make it through his life in small-town America. What's most fascinating about Orel is watching it evolve from its formulaic and episodic nature in Season 1 to its more dark and connected events of Season 3. The first 2 seasons are still great, don't get me wrong, but the show's last season is what really makes it a must-watch. The dark comedic look at Christianity's effect on society eventually grows outside that scope into something more broad and in a sense more harrowing, as later episodes like Alone show. Orel serves as a great lead, always trying to do what's best in God's eyes, but escalating the advice given to him to extreme ends. The other star would be his dad Clay, a self-destructive alcoholic who you'll loathe to see on your screen. One-note side characters eventually split show a much more horrifying picture of how they came to be. Weaker episodes are sprinkled throughout, but none feel outright bad, just some are less good than others. Overall, Orel is just fantastic. Season 3 is close to perfect in many ways, but when I look at the series as a whole, I would have to give it a loving Alan. Seriously, if you haven't watched the show and can stomach more dark and serious themes, give it a shot. It's the best thing I watched this month. And that is everything rounded up. If you disagree, just remember this was my objective opinion, but you can leave yours in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and with all that said, Ptok out.